Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, people of all ages, welcome back to the Sticky Floors podcast. I am one of your hosts, CJ. I am joined by Mr. Will. If you are listening to us tonight, we survived the snowmageddon like y'all did, man. Like, yo, we supposed to get like 78 inches here. We
You
survived
gotta
it. Like,
quote that, yo.
that's what it is. Yo, we out here. It's like Hoth out here,
Snowmageddon.
man. It's like
White
that.
Walkers.
Yeah, like that. Whatever thing was attacking Luke, I just seen that thing outside, man. That thing was big. Like it's it's rough out here, man. But we still doing the show because of how much we love we love movies. We love talking to them. If this is your first time with us, yo, we talk about stuff that's in theaters. We talk about stuff that's not in theaters. We talk about stuff that just went straight to streaming. Tonight we are doing The Rip, which went straight to streaming right now. It's heating up the charts. I got my man, Mr. Will. Mr. Will, what's up with you tonight? How you doing, man?
Yo, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling real good.
Because you
We're looking
survived.
forward to watching this, man.
Yeah, it's a good movie, man. And you survived the
Yeah.
snowmageddon. You didn't have to have your lightsaber out there, with your tauntaun, have to cut your tauntaun open and get inside it. You didn't have to do that. So yeah, so you having a good day. You know what I'm saying? So we talk about movies. So that's good. That's good. So look, man, listen. So if this is your first time with us, yo, hit the subscribe button right away so that you get our drops when they come out. We do this show pretty much weekly, man. And in between there, we got a bunch of clips that we drop, and we continue the conversation both on X and on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram and on Threads. So basically, wherever you want to continue the conversation, we are there for you. As always, we start off with the summary of the film by the illustrious Mr. Will. Mr. Will, tell us about The Rip.
Oh, man. Here we go, fellas and ladies. The Rip's an intense crime thriller streaming on Netflix, starring Matt Damon as Miami-Dade Police Lieutenant Dumars, and Ben Affleck as Detective Sergeant J.D. Byrne. The film opens with Dumas and his tactical narcotics team responding to the murder of their captain, Jackie Velez, a loss that immediately casts suspicion over the unit and establishes a mood of tension and mistrust. Shortly afterward, the team investigates a late night anonymous tip at a house in Hialeah where they uncover $20 million in hidden cartel cash. What begins as a routine follow-up rapidly becomes a test of loyalty as temptation and or paranoia blur the lines between duty and self-interest, thus threatening to unravel the squad from within. As the stakes escalate, alliances fracture and deeper conspiracies emerge, including betrayal by one of their own and growing scrutiny from federal agents eager to capitalize on the seized money. Inside the house, the team encounters Desi, the reluctant granddaughter of the deceased homeowner, who initially claims she knows nothing but later revealed to be the tipster, thereby receiving a share of the cash as a reward, further complicating questions and protocol and morality. Suspicion intensifies when Byrne begins to believe Dumars is withholding information and a series of threatening calls, repeatedly asking for a specific figure only known to one detective, exposing a mole connected to DEA agent Maddie Nix. The film culminates in gunfire, revelation, fire to the home, as well as Dumars revealing the tip came from Velez herself and the secrecy was strategic, ending with justice served, promises honored, and a quiet moment of reflection on loyalty, loss, and moral ambiguity.
There it is. There it is. So, like, I swear we are not trying to just politic to get on Netflix, our own Netflix podcast. I know like the last couple of weeks, it feels like, you've been listening in. You're like, dang, these dudes do a lot of stuff that's on Netflix right now. Like, yeah, I know. Last week we did do Don't Look Up. This week we are doing The Rip. I promise you, next week we're not gonna do a straight to Netflix movie, although the movie may be on Netflix, but that's just coincidence, man. But a couple quick details on The Rip. So The Rip is on Netflix right now. Is directed by James Carnahan, who also made Smoking Aces and The A Team, The Narc, and Cop Shop. So I did see The A Team. A Team was pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, as Mr. Will said, stars Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Stephen Yeun, Teyana Taylor, the Woman of the Hour, Sasha Calle. Sorry if I messed that up. Shout outs to Supergirl, man, and Catalina Sandino Moreno and Kyle Chandler. This is the
Shots.
14th movie that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have appeared in together. Obviously, the one that started their career was Good Will Hunting, although personally I've always been had a preference for Dogma, based on a true story of what happened in 2016 in a Miami-Dade County cop seizure that did actually involve getting $20 million. And this is another just quick note. So this was the deal for this was negotiated by Artist Equity, which is a company started by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, which makes it where the all the people involved in the production of the film will receive a bonus if it performs well on Netflix. So one of the things that people were getting that Netflix was getting a knock for was for not really paying people the royalties for what they produced, and now this deal allows them to do that. So that's where that is. Just a couple more details on that. Um, this is my joint. I enjoyed watching this. We did Triple Frontier a while ago. I just gotta say, man, I'm always into watching something with Ben Affleck. Like Ben is like the goon's goon of actors, man. You can just trust him. As soon as I seen him with the rig, with the double rig, with the guns on it, man, and like he had the chain on with the beard, I was like, oh, it's about to be like white training day out here. I was turned up for it. I was like, yo, I'm here for it. I'm here for it, and this absolutely did not disappoint. It did.
Oh, White Training Day is crazy. Oh man! First and foremost, Ben Affleck, as most people who tune in know, is my Batman. So I
Mm-hmm.
automatically have an affinity towards Ben Affleck, just from that standpoint. Um, but I was very pleased with the fact that he was going back to the action thriller,
Mm-hmm.
kind of gritty, suspenseful, suspicious type of film. A sidebar: um, not only are Matt and Ben known for being from Boston, whatever have you, but I just learned that Ben Affleck was born in Berkeley, California. That
Mm-hmm.
really messed me up because this guy
Yeah.
with the strong, Massachusetts Boston accent or whatever have
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
is born in the out west. Like, so that really threw me off. And another tidbit is that the actress that you affectionately referred to as Supergirl,
Yep.
she was born in Boston. So
Yep.
like they all have that like in
That's
common.
probably how
So
they
I'm
got
wondering if
connected like that. Yeah.
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 But back to the movie, I definitely love the fact that these two have a strong chemistry.
They
Them being
really
Matt
do.
and Ben,
They
with
really
the
do. Yeah.
just the ability to uh, the non-speaking parts, the physical aspect where
Mm-hmm.
they're able to communicate non-verbally and play off of one another is brilliant. Especially in the close quarter scenes where there draws some questions as to whether or not which one is corrupt, or maybe even
Yep.
both of them just not working together. And then the backstory behind both of their respective characters.
Yep.
Sergeant is in a relationship, or rather was, with the deceased captain.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt Damon's character Dumars, he's dealing with the fact that his son at age 10 passed away from cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and that his wife is there's some ambiguity there as far as whether or
Yeah.
not
I
they're
think they're
still
going through like a
together, or they're
divorce or something like
separated or
that. Yeah.
divorced. Yeah. So, Maddie always says, very in hushed tones, you got to keep an eye out on this guy. There's something going on behind the scenes, until it's finally revealed that, hey, this is what's transpiring in his life. So he's no longer that guy. So can we, trust or believe in anything that he has to say? Really, really hammers home the point that anything is up for grabs.
Yeah. The movie does a great job at like just maintaining the suspense of who can you trust and who can't you
Yeah.
trust. And it's like it's just a very well done film. Like I think Netflix has definitely slid itself into a certain genre, and when in terms of the movies that they produce, and this is like right there. And to your point, to me, some of the best scenes are when it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck playing off each
Mhm.
other, and I think the movie realized the magic in that and tried to create these intentional moments, whether it's the conversation they had in the bathroom, or when they're upstairs in the attic talking, or like when they're like outside talking with each other. Like there's a real chemistry between them, and they just do a great job at conveying their friendship through the whole thing. So like you really believe that these are two guys that really do care about each other, and they care about each other so much that they're willing to hold each other accountable if they think that one of them is sideways.
And that's the other thing too that really like intensifies things when they go upstairs to the attic, as you're referring to, and they
Mhm.
notice the little string coming from the wall and
Yeah.
able to move back and reveal the money. Right then and there, I'm like, all right, so are they, partnering together to steal the money, and
Right.
are
Yeah. Right.
they, do they have
Right.
something going on, or
Right.
is it like one of them's going to knock off the other? Like, what's going
Yeah.
on here? Like, you could start to see the tension really increase and intensify right then and there. And then afterwards, when they go back downstairs, the little hankiness as far as, oh, give me your cell phones. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah. That's
Oh,
when
that's not
that's
part
when it
of
starts to look.
protocol.
Yeah, exactly. And not wanting to call the major right away.
Yeah.
Right, right, right. Yeah, and even Matt Damon giving different numbers to different people about how
Which you
much
have.
the rip was, which you really have to pay attention
Yes.
to understand why that's the case later on in the film.
Well, that's the other thing too. 75,000, 150,000,
Yeah.
250,000. Like when he's revealing all these different numbers to them, I caught that from the onset, and I immediately thought, oh man, and I was disappointed too.
You try to
I'm
take them for
thinking,
money.
yeah, I was like, oh please, please, no, no, not this can't be. I can't
Right.
believe
You
it.
ain't want to see Jason
Um,
Bourne stealing the money. That's
yeah,
what
I'm
it
like,
was.
come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I was really hurt, and I was
Yeah.
sitting there like, oh, he's on his Loki dogma stuff again.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. And then once they go outside and Stephen Young's character is walking, and
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, he's gonna body this dude, and
Yeah, I
he's
thought
the
so
weak
too.
link. Like, I'm sitting there like, oh man, this can't be happening. And then right on cue, Ben Affleck's character runs over to the house on his own.
Yeah, I got a
I was
comment about that.
really,
I got a comment about that one. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's I got to give props to the act to the storyline itself because
yes.
I watched it once and then the next day I went back and watched it again because I wanted to make sure that everything that Matt Damon was doing that you could really see it being set up. And when went back and watched again, I was like, oh yeah, that is exactly why he did this, why he did that. I appreciate it
Mm-hmm.
right away, the rewatchability of the film just based on that part of it alone. And there's just some good performances here. I mean,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
they got folks in here that everybody's kind of like in their bag. And props to the production company Netflix just for getting these folks together. You know, like okay, fine, you got Ben Affleck and you got Matt Damon and something together, they're always gonna draw attention.
Yeah.
But then you got Teyana Taylor in here now. This movie coming off of just winning the Golden Globes award for Best Supporting Actress for One Day After Another, one battle after another, just off Saturday Night Live, same weekend that comes out, a week later, this comes out. Just really a way to attract a lot of attention to the film and get people to watch it and check it out.
Yeah, and it's really cool how everything lines up for certain people too.
Yeah.
Like even Sasha Calle, ironically enough, her name is Street. Trans when you translate it,
Hmm.
like she's coming off of the heels of a bunch of movies as well and appearances, and she's the new it girl or one of.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, you have Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and you'll see Matt Damon in a host of commercials with David Beckham as the
Yep.
other David in the beer
Yep.
commercial. It's really like cool how all that lines up in order to help promote this movie or draw attention to the movie. That's one thing. The second thing is, with the fact that you have artists now, actors and actresses now gaining further control as far as movie rights and such, a la, or even directors, a la, with the case of, oh man, what's the name of the Sinners?
Yeah, Ryan Coogler. Yeah, the Ryan
Ryan
Coogler deal.
Coogler.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like that intent or them being purposeful in doing that shines more light on the fact that it is the movie business
Yeah.
with a strong emphasis on the business part. And then the third thing I definitely want to highlight is it doesn't matter where the movie is at, could be streaming, could be in the movie theaters. Those that support that type of genre, that that field of the arts, they'll find it. They'll
Yeah.
gravitate towards it. The movie will be successful, or the TV show, or the whatever it is. Like, people will find it. They will do whatever it takes to get the word out, from a grassroots standpoint, you want that because now it helps to not only promote for obvious reasons, but it shows that, you know what, if I cater to, and I'm borrowing from Eric Sermon, who borrowed from Ryan Leslie, if you cater to that specific group and you have, say, just to use a round number, 10,000 folks or 100 million, whatever, you don't need everyone.
Yeah,
You
you just
just
need the
hone in
people,
on
right?
them
Yeah,
and then they'll support you. They'll gravitate
yeah,
towards whatever your next project is or whatever it is that you're trying to promote.
yeah. It's very true. And I mean, this, we're talking about this now. This film has been out for about a week. I
Yeah.
haven't seen a negative review. Like
No,
most,
and you won't.
all reviews have been very positive. So I think there's also something to be said for people like these kinds of movies. Like
Yeah.
if they're done well and they make sense. And we've done a couple of these kinds of movies with cops, and are the cops crooked? Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. And it's like it's always a matter of, can you tell a good story around the
Yeah.
action? And
Hmm.
that's where this movie does a good job of doing that. Tells a good story, and the performances are strong enough to keep you locked in when there's not gunfire happening. And that's
Oh,
like
yeah.
where I think one of the things that really really makes the movie successful.
Well, that's the dope part. This is not really a action movie, if you will, in the
Yeah, it's
sense
not.
of
Yeah,
like
yeah, yep.
gratuitous violence and all
Mm-hmm.
this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is more of like a suspenseful thriller slash drama
Yep.
that utilizes action as a means to convey certain messages, themes, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. It does, man. It's got a lot of good things going on with it, man. Matter of fact, let's just get into it, man. Let's get into the cake, man. What are the things that you really liked about the Rip?
Yeah, so we talked about it initially, the cast. CJ highlighted all the individuals in there. And as I tried to denote, um, going back now after watching them all in this movie, it made me either want to rewatch something they were already in or go out to see, hey, what's their next project?
Yeah,
Or,
absolutely.
maybe they release something right now simultaneously or relatively within the same time period. Um, like I mentioned before, the tandems, they work very well with each other, and even pointing out like, hey, oh, I've seen him before, oh, I've seen her before in this, like just having that feel keeps you invested,
Yeah,
as far as like, oh, wanting to see how the movie further develops.
yeah,
Next thing is the plot and the premise, man. I, like CJ mentioned, there's only so many shoot 'em up, bang bang, cops and robber movies you can
right.
watch, but the way that they flipped this one and utilizing the historical evidence, this being based upon a true story, and I'm sure they take some creative licenses and liberties with this, obviously to make it more dramatic. But overall, the sense that like art imitating life, life imitating art is another appeal, at least for me.
Hmm.
Um, the themes, like we mentioned, loyalty, corruption, you're placed in a position of power. Do you abuse it? Even the fact that Matt Damon, and I loved it, had the tattoos on his
Yeah, on the
inner
hands.
hands,
Yeah. Mhm.
as a tribute to his son, but also as a friendly reminder, like why we do this, why we get up in the morning every day, trying to place your best foot forward, or at least any foot forward is really dope. I really like that. The setting and the timing is the next thing that I liked about it.
Mhm.
It's at dark. It's in Miami. It's on certain cul-de-sacs and
Yeah. Owned
secluded
owned by the
streets.
Colombian mafia, the
Whew.
Colombian mafia neighborhood.
Yo, the fact that like even the leader of the
Cartel
cartel comes
Gardens.
out, FaceTimes and is like, yo,
That's
nah,
crazy. Yeah, that
even
was
we won't
nuts.
even assassinate a police captain in the United States. We might do that in our own country, but we don't want that type of warfare in our streets.
Right.
We don't want the wrath of the United States. I just loved how all that blended itself together. When you think of Miami, when you think of Florida, it's the Sunshine State. You're
Yep.
thinking of like nice, cool tropical drinks, Cuban cigars, and flamingos and stuff. You know what I mean? And then with the backdrop of the nice sunset and these guys hopping through fences and gunfire and gunplay, I really like that. And obviously it's make believe. I'm not advocating violence in
Yeah.
the
We,
streets.
we yeah we
Yeah.
know.
And
So
then last but not least, just the narrative twist. You know what I mean? Like I didn't expect it, blew my mind. And I hadn't felt that in a long time, maybe like 3-4 years, with respect to a movie where it was something that caught me off guard. I really thought that either Ben Affleck's character, JD Burns, was really the
Burner or
bad guy.
Doomers. Yeah.
Yeah, or that Lieutenant Dane Dumar's Matt Damon's character were corrupt. I really didn't see them like testing each other, and then when they're trapped in the back of the police vehicle, that they're like, oh, so you did this and did it, and without revealing, like they didn't know. It was almost like they planned this to happen,
Yeah.
to be in that place at that time. Definitely a dope shout out movie to everyone involved, man.
Yeah, and you buy it because it's them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's the
yeah.
thing. Like the credibility of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, their relationship
Oh
makes you
yeah.
believe that the characters' relationship would work out in such a way that they could plan something like that. I got everything that you got too. I'm just gonna highlight one scene actually that I really loved was when Dumars and Byrne do the interrogation of Desi.
Mm.
And it's like the back and forth. It's almost like you mentioned EPMD. That's what it felt like. The White Paris
Yeah.
Sherman and Eric Smith going back and forth, like how they kind of like trying to break Desi down. And to her
Mm-hmm.
credit, you know, she holds her own against them, like with the comments back and forth. This is a great. I've always been a fan of good dialogue, and I felt like that scene just had like a really good dialogue part to it. You mentioned this earlier. This is a really good rewatchable film.
Mm-hmm.
I've already watched it again after the first time that I saw it, and I could see myself checking it out again, like who knows, a year or two down the line from now. So,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, like there's like it's a really good like good piece of film and functional entertainment as well. So that's what I got on the cake. What you got on the hate for this joint, man?
I just want to backtrack on something you said in the pre-production meeting. CJ has a dope way of illuminating certain key points about individuals, whatever have you. And with respect to Ben Affleck, he always talks about the goon joint, and 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 it made me think. Like it made me really reassess Ben Affleck as an actor, and I
hmm
was like, wow, even when he plays the bad guy, a la The Town
hmm
or the joint with Zoe Saldana, I'm like, he's still a good guy. He's still the lovable
Yeah, he's a
criminal that, you know,
goon
you
on
want
there.
him on your side. And even when he plays, like in this case, a questionable police officer, he still rises to the occasion where anything that you might have thought a shade or negativity about him, you dismiss it because you're like, no, the ends justify the means. See, he
Yeah.
still got the bad guy, and he didn't let him off, even though that was his boy, and he had, you know, a strong
hmm
rapport with him. He was still like, yo, you're a criminal, and you need to be punished, and you killed the woman I love. Like, I
Yeah,
can't
and
let
he
that
made sure he
slide.
shot the dude in the head too. Yeah, yeah. Now Ben Affleck, man, he's made a lot of movies that I really dig, and it's like you can see he's got a certain thing that he's gonna always in his his best roles to me are the ones where he's like kind of on the line a little bit,
Mm.
right? And then he's always gonna have like I'm in this relationship with this Latina woman though. He's always gonna have that. Like that's a part of it. You saw it here, you know, like that's gonna be a part of his joint. And it's like it works. Like this is what this dude. I'm sure like the next joint's gonna be a romantic comedy with him and Adria Arjona or something like that. That's gonna be the next joint, and I'm gonna watch that one too, and it's gonna be good. You know what I mean? So salute to my man Ben because I see you, player. All right, so
Yeah.
look now on to the hate.
No, what's the hate is crazy. Oh man, I can't say that there's much that I disliked about this movie. Oh, and the movie that I was trying to remember with Zoe Saldana is Live by Night, which was
Mhm.
panned by a lot of critics, but I thought it was actually all right. Maybe a little too long, but that's for another day. Um, I didn't like the fact that, you know, the supporting cast was underdeveloped a little bit for my taste. Like it went into the fact that one is a single mother trying
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
the best that she
yeah,
can, and that was her potential reasons for maybe pilfering a couple of bucks. And I really thought that they could have expanded upon Teyana Taylor's character. You know, she's Haitian. What made her draw into being in the police force? You
good
know,
point.
what's her
Good
family
points. Yeah,
lifestyle? Is she dating someone, et cetera, et cetera? And that would have been her motivation as to, you know, one, maybe she had a relative who was in jail or
yeah.
something, or, you know, anything. Um, Limited exploration of the feds, man. Like I'm like, all right, that's his brother and all, but like what made them really want to hone
Scott
in
Adkins. Yeah,
on
yeah.
this? Oh, and Scott, like CJ and I talked about
He would have stomped Ben
in
Affleck
the
in real life. Yeah,
pre-production, Darth
yeah,
Maul would have got into
yeah,
Batman something serious. Like
yeah,
he would have knocked him around
yeah,
with the two piece
yeah,
as CJ was mentioning
yeah.
real quick.
He would need to have the whole bat suit on to win that
Oh
fight.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, definitely
the armor
plot
joint.
armor galore.
Right, right.
And then last but not least, just the ending, it kind of wrapped up too tidy for
I
me.
agree.
It seemed like
I
a
agree.
30-minute TV, sitcom type of joint,
Yeah.
where everybody,
Yeah.
you get the moral lesson at the end, et cetera, et cetera. What you
Yeah,
got on
I
this joint,
I
man?
agree, man. I agree. I had the same thoughts. I thought the end was a little kind of like paint by numbers for the end of those kind of movies. So I didn't really dig that. And then there's a couple of things like I didn't like the scene where Byrne went to the house by himself. I just thought
Oh yeah.
that didn't make any sense, especially if the Morse code is actually saying pigs. Why would you go to the house by yourself?
Yeah.
That's not going to make a bunch of sense. And I did think that Nix, the character of Nix that you mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
who was played by Kyle Chandler, I thought he would have just shot them dudes in the car rather than trying to get them to work with him to take the money at that point. Those parts kind of fell apart a little bit at the end, but overall, I'm sort of I even feel like I'm nitpicking a little bit on those two.
You know what? And I could even offer a little bit of pushback just to their credit. One, maybe Ben Affleck's character, maybe Sergeant JD was corrupt, and that's why he was going to the house, and he had to
That's what it
play it
made you
off
think.
like,
Yeah, that's what it made
yeah.
you think.
And then I was also thinking, like, all right, maybe he knows something that's going on over there that the others don't know, and that would
Because he's
isolate
corrupt. Yeah,
him from Lieutenant Dumars, and he could get the drop on him there. And
yeah.
then I was thinking, like, oh, well, maybe that's their plan to both team up at the house, and then they could really coordinate their efforts to get rid of the rest of the team. So that's just with that fact. And then with respect to Maddie Nix possibly icing these guys in the truck, I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, he's like, yo, I'm desperate. These are my friends. Maybe if I cut him in, I'm not the only one who's corrupt. Yin's corrupt. He's on the team. Maybe we can get them to like maybe switch over, as a last and desperate plea. But you're probably right. In normal
Kill everybody in a
circumstances,
situation
kill
like that.
everybody
Just kill everybody.
and
Get
no
out.
witnesses.
No witnesses to take the money, man. Not that I would do
Yeah.
that, but
Not that I
because I'm
would
a
do
law
that.
abide because I'm a
Gotta
law
do that.
abiding citizen. Just so everybody
Yeah,
knows.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Law abiding.
So, all right, man. What you got? What you got on the questions, man?
All right, first question. Is Dumar's secrecy a justified leadership strategy or a breach of trust? And at what point, if any, does it cross that line?
Yo, that's a great question, man. Because when I thought about it, I went back and I was thinking, and I was looking at it, and the thing that he says that sort of makes it seem like it was a good strategy was when he says to Burn, I needed you to look like you didn't trust me because if you
Mm-hmm.
didn't trust me, then everybody else wouldn't
Everybody
either.
believe it. Yeah.
Right. So he was like, so like that part of it makes it work. Like really what you realize stepping back is Dumars is really playing 3D chess with
Mm-hmm.
everybody in the film, right, for a long time. And you don't really know that because you don't really realize that he's the one who got the text message from their captain in the beginning of the film. And then
Yeah.
when you realize that, then you realize he's been kind of moving through the whole thing in a way that's different from everybody else. So I think like there's a part of me that said he should have at least cut Byrne in, especially because the captain was Byrne's woman too.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see why he did it, and it makes sense for the story.
But not just that, too. It makes me really hone in on the fact that he was like, yo, you're not upset that he got the promotion over you. It
Yeah,
was
they
your
yeah they
turn.
try to get it
Now
over.
it's like, oh, he got the promotion because he's like
He's a
CJ said,
strategic
he's
person. Yeah,
playing. Yeah, he's very
yeah,
strategic. And he's playing 3D chess. No,
yeah.
a great point,
He's
man.
not the goon.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Ben. Shout outs to Ben, man. The ultimate goon. I love it. I love it.
My next question is does the movie suggest that corruption's an individual failing, a systemic issue, or an inevitable result of power and proximity to temptation?
Dang, the movie makes it seem like it's all of those, man. Really,
Mm,
because what you see is it's not just that like one guy wants the money. It's
yeah.
they want the Stephen Yoon's character wants the money, then the DEA wants the money. At the end, they take all the money and say they're going to add that to the coffers of the department. The Colombians, they're like, yo, y'all could just take the 20 mil because we'll get it back. It's good. Like
We'll get it
it's like
back.
a
It's
whole
crazy.
system of corruption, and it's kind of like at every point, you know. I think in the beginning, even Desi says like they are willing to accept some leakage, like kind of like what you would
Yeah.
have in retail. Like we kind of expect we're going to lose a couple hundred
We
thousand,
expect it.
a couple million here or there, just the cost of doing business. But when you have those kind of margins in place, there's got to be corruption. You're expecting that that's going to happen. I think the movie really says like, yeah, corruption is its own business practice that runs parallel to whatever business you're running.
You know, that's so crazy. I didn't even think like to draw that analogy, to draw that comparison. Like we expect this kind of shrinkage. Like
Yeah,
you
leakage. Yeah, yeah.
CJ said to me once, folks, before that the system is big enough to create not only its own heroes but its own villains,
On
and to
opposition. Yeah.
perpetuate the cycle endlessly. And once he said that, it wasn't that I didn't know it, but the way he phrased it crystallized this idea of like, yeah, you know what? It's just recycling. They're
Yep.
taking the drug profits, whether it's for good or bad, that's up to you to judge, but they're going to use that money in order to try and continue this quote unquote war on crime.
Yep.
Dope. Dope,
Yep.
CJ.
The snake eating its tail, man. The Ouroboros.
Yes.
That's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
All right, man. All right. So I got three for you, man. First question. So what character wins the most when the rip ends?
Wow. Man, that's a hard question. You know why? Because the end scene when they're sitting on the beach,
Mm-hmm.
I love that scene, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
very cathartic. It's very
Mm-hmm.
wholesome, man.
Because it's a couple wins there. Like
Yeah, that's what I'm
they
saying. Like
catch
that's
the
why it's hard
captain's
for me.
killer,
Yeah,
Byrne gets his revenge, but Desi got the money.
yeah.
you
That's what I'm
know?
saying. Like, but for me, it's not even about the money because she can rebuild the house if she really wanted to or move,
Mm-hmm.
which ideally she's probably going to move. And so that's good in the here and now. Um, I guess this is going to be my answer. My answer is Dumars,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say because vengeance is fleeting, and it can overwhelm you and consume you if you allow it. Um, but for Dumars, he's looking at it like, you know what? I done right by myself, by my
Yep.
family, by my child in particular, and I'm honoring everyone by continuing to fight the good fight. And
Yeah.
even when they mention at the end, like you see the little girl playing off in the beach, and she goes after the ball, and her mom calls her, and it's the same name as the captain,
Mm-hmm.
like it kind of brought home like not
Yeah.
just for Byrne but also for Dumars, where it was like, yeah, we did the right thing, we're honoring her, this is why we did it, we're honoring people like that little girl who can't defend themselves so that she can grow up in a better tomorrow. And it was poetic. It was very symmetrical because she's a little kid and he
Yeah.
lost the daughter,
He
you know what
lost
I
his
mean?
son.
So
Yeah.
I mean son rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going with Dumars.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, it just reminds you that these guys know what they're doing when it comes to making
Yeah.
films.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And speaking of making movies, okay, so after making The Rip, The Gray Man, Rebel Ridge, Triple Frontier, Red Notice, and Six Underground, is it safe to say that Netflix is the premier producer of action films?
Easy. Easy. And it's not even close. I discontinued my Apple movie. I'm not playing with you, man.
He was like, "Yo,
Twelve
I threw
ninety
the Apple
nine.
joint out because of Netflix." Go ahead, tell them
I
stories,
did,
man.
man. I did.
Netflix, listen up.
And it's not because I don't even think Netflix is reinventing the wheel here. They're just doing what CJ said. What is it? The preserver? Like he's
Give
really
the
they've
people
like
what they want. Give the
given
people, get the people what they want, man.
there's a demographic that they've honed in on that they know will support whatever it is that they'll put out, and
Mm-hmm.
they're like, look, there's enough business around here where everybody can eat, where we can grow the profit margins, where we can share, and we'll get the returning people coming back. We don't have to jerk anybody around.
Yeah,
We don't have to be shady and shisty. We can still continue to put out good stuff around these same people that we do business with. There's a reason why they continue to do business with Dave Chappelle, with Eddie
right.
Murphy,
Good point.
with
Good
with
points.
Chris Rock, and then simultaneously, there's a reason why they continue to do good business with
Good
Ben
points.
Affleck, with Matt Damon, and people of that caliber.
Very good points. Very good point. Very true. Very true. And speaking of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, all right. So this is gonna be a
Mm.
good one. All right. True or false? Matt Damon is the better actor, but Ben Affleck is the bigger Hollywood star.
Wow.
You gotta really take a minute, really think about it. Think about the movies now. Think about what you've seen both of them in. I'm saying, is it true or false? Because it's up to you. Matt Damon is the better actor, but Ben Affleck is the bigger Hollywood star. This feels
You know
like a
why this is so
ESPN joint.
yo, this is so tough because I literally watched
Fresh take. It's
this
like a first
interview.
take joint. Yeah.
Yeah, they had this interview where they were like talking about their early days and how they were living together, whatever have you. And mind you, they're not the same age. You know what I'm saying? Like they're I think it's Ben is 53, and I think Matt Damon is older than him.
Yeah, I think so
And
too. I think he's a couple years older.
yeah, and in the interview they talk they I reference that because they give notion to as to what it means to be older, to have a little bit more wisdom because of experience. And Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are in this interview, and Ben says, "Yo, man, I was just taking everything because we were broke, man. You can't be turning down movies." And Matt Damon
Mm-hmm.
simultaneously says, "Nah, man, I was being selective with my movies. I wanted to make sure that what I was putting out, I'm looking at legacy, long term, et cetera, et cetera." And obviously, I'm paraphrasing. Um, so yeah, you know what? I think that statement, as crazy as it sounds, is true
There it
because you
is.
don't hear much about Matt Damon's public life. You hear
Mm-mm.
all about Ben Affleck's struggles, but it
Yeah.
humanizes him. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that disparagingly. I
No,
like I,
I dig it, man. He's in the
I'm
streets.
I
I like it.
run with Ben Affleck, man. That would be, if in real life, if I knew this, he reminds me of guys we went to school with. You know what I'm saying? Like
Agreed.
dudes, the
Agreed.
dudes that we
Yes.
are like,
I
yo,
agree.
yeah, yeah. I want him on our team.
I
He's
agree.
on, whatever have you.
Yeah.
I'm on.
Yeah.
Um,
He feels like a dude in your fantasy football league.
yeah, man.
He
And at
does.
the
He
same
does. Yeah, I
time,
agree. I agree.
Matt Damon is a dude that like a type of guy that I came up with too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, both of them are lovable, relatable, cool dudes, but at the same time, Ben Affleck being out there struggling with his illnesses such as alcoholism and such, who doesn't have a family member that's been affected by that?
Mm-hmm.
Who hasn't had a family member who, may have had some questionable decisions, et cetera, but it still maintains this high excellence bar of professionalism when he's doing his movies. Like, you don't like The Town, you don't
Yeah.
like even something as like Reindeer Games, or you don't like anything like along the lines of any of the Batman stuff
Yeah.
that he's featured in Justice League. Like, this dude runs the gauntlet of
Yeah.
movies that he's in.
State of
Yeah,
play.
man.
What about that joint that we did on
Yo,
the show
man,
a
dude,
couple years ago? Yeah. Now
his
look, Ben
range, so
is the super goon, man.
his
He's the dude, man.
his
Changing
range is
lanes, like
yeah,
yes, a
there's a
lot of
reason why we've done so many movies that he's featured in. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, his range is crazy, and that's not to say that Matt Damon's isn't either. Whether it be
right.
him in Mars or Goodwill Hunting or Jason Bourne series or whatever have you,
Oppenheimer. Come on, man. Like he was great in Oppenheimer. Like
all of them
he's
get busy. Both of them get
yeah.
busy, man.
Yep. Yep. True. True indeed, man. All right, yo. So popcorn wise, man. So what you got on the popcorn boxes for this one, man?
I got a strong 4, and I even contemplated during this discourse of moving it up to 4.5, man.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's definitely something like CJ mentioned that I would rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I'm probably going to later on today or tomorrow, just because wanting to want to revisit some things just for personal reflection and such on there. Because this is something that we needed as a palate cleanse
Yeah.
based upon some of the past movies we've watched, and I was really engaged in this, man. Yeah, you know what? 4.5, yo.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it at 4. I'm gonna keep it at 4. It's definitely a watch. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's
Mm-hmm.
on Netflix. You can check it out whatever you want to. If you want to pause it and order a pizza or something, you can do that too. Do that too. Check it out. But yeah, it's really, really, really good film. Strong buy, 4 boxes. Hot takes, Mr. Will. What's your hot take on the Rip?
Yeah, man. So my hot take is that the Rip's really a character study disguised as a crime thriller, which
Okay.
may kind of disappoint some people who are looking for that nonstop action. But those who are patient and who love character driven, plot driven, and a lot of the things that really makes a movie really rewarding in the end. This movie, as we talked at in the beginning, really allows the audience to be immersed in dialogue character development of the main characters, watching the interactions and the inner workings of the director. We didn't highlight that, the screenplay and such, but just the background people, whether it be the cinematography, the location, the key grips, everything, everybody coming together to hone in on this project, utilizing that as one of the main characters rather than hiring somebody else. Definitely dope movie. Yeah, man, that's my hot take.
There it is. There it is. Yo, I think the hot take. So you remember when the new Clips album dropped, right?
Mm-hmm.
And part of what the Clips did was they essentially did all the marketing. So
Yeah.
they were everywhere. They did all
Mm-hmm.
the podcasts, they did all the shows. They made you want to go listen to, Let God Sort Them Out before it even dropped, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think the real thing that this joint showed, which I think Netflix is going to learn from, is the marketing campaign that they did around this with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Not only seeing them on the Tonight Show, not only seeing them on the Today Show, but seeing like Ben Affleck on All the Smoke, or seeing
Mm-hmm.
him and Matt Damon on the Joe Rogan Show. They hit the podcast scene to really promote the show. And what they did was
Mm.
they used their relationship and their experience as the draw to make you want to come and watch the movie.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
even if you didn't know the story or you didn't care about the characters, and it's not a part of a superhero story and it's not a sequel, you were going to watch it based off the relationship that they built with you through the month of lead up marketing they did. I think that's the strategy for streaming movies to be successful from now on. It's not just, you can't just throw the art of the actor's name up there and just put them out there. They're going to have to do that work, but it's going to have to be almost like the guerrilla marketing of being on the podcast scene to really build the momentum to get people to press play, when they have the subscription.
That point that you made right there with respect to the podcast scene, that's dope. And the reason being is, people are streaming now. This is where the attention or where the eyes are at right
Absolutely.
now. So it's not your typical, hey, I watch a commercial, whatever have you, on a
Mm-mm.
TV show. No, 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 no. People are now streaming more, so there's going to be advertisements. And I
Right.
know that's nothing more than another form of cable because that takes away from the original premise of why people were streaming and cutting the cord. But going to the podcast scene now is what it was to do
Yeah.
things on streaming networks. So now there's been another shift. The paradigm itself has changed, and these guys are ahead of the curve or riding the wave to that, where they're going, like you mentioned, on the smoke, which
Yep.
is a basketball podcast.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, you see the transition because the similarity is it's all entertainment.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like you just like you said, there's no commercials for the rip like
No,
playing on TV.
nope.
You don't have to, because if you watch the Joe Rogan joint, you got a 3 hour commercial
Yeah,
to make
yeah.
you go see the rip. You know what I mean? So I think it's like that's the future of the marketing and promotion for these films. So the things that are coming out this year, I imagine I would be shocked if I don't see Robert Downey Jr. doing some podcasts. Like, I gotta see,
Yeah,
he's
for
gonna have to go
Doomsday.
to
Yeah.
right. He's gonna have to go to the podcasts that talk about comic book movies that have a large following to get people to want to come and see this, because it's
Mm,
not a lot of information built up around the movie so far. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So do that. Like, that's the way to do it. And I think these two dudes, they figured that out, and that's why the joint is doing well right now on Netflix.
Yeah, and they embrace the funny, questionable, sarcastic side of things that they've done.
Yep.
So, with your example, and which was brilliant, man, of Robert Downey Jr. doing it, that whole push about tropical thunder and this, that, and the third,
Yeah.
he'll embrace that. And then in turn, it'll
Right.
draw more eyes to his older catalog and things
Right.
like that. Like, oh man, that's great
That's how
point,
you
man.
that's
Great
how you
hot
make it
take.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there it is, man. So that's our breakdown of The Rip, which is right now on Netflix. Next week we will be back with another movie about crooked cops. Maybe the best one of all time. We're gonna be back with next week with Denzel Washington's Training Day. Once again, the Sticky Floors podcast is available wherever you get your podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify Podcasts, we're on YouTube, where we want you to like and subscribe and share so you get our drops when they drop each week. We also are continuing the conversation on X, on Threads, on Facebook, on Instagram, so you can check in with us on there as well. We will see you next week. Peace.